It's a fresh start throughout the league here in Week 1 as these two teams have high hopes for the season ahead. It's the Dolphins going up against the Seahawks. With that, let's get up to Seattle as I'm proud to welcome in the newest members of the Madden family. That's our commentators, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Larry, thank you very much as we welcome all of you inside CenturyLink Field here in downtown Seattle. Today, the opener of the 2016 NFL season between the Miami Dolphins and the Seattle Seahawks. And, Charles, as we take a close look at these two teams, the Dolphins last year last in the AFC East at 6-10. The Seahawks, meanwhile, 10-6.
And Miami is trying to build under new direction. They're trying to get back to being the Miami Dolphins that we knew, especially me, back in my youth. And Seattle, great home field advantage as always. They may have a few new faces, but their goals haven't changed. They want to get back to the Super Bowl.
It's the dawn of a new era for us at EA Sports as the 2016 NFL season is underway. Tyler Lockett now with a return. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. So out come the Seahawks now for their first possession. They'll be led out by a man who's been a Pro Bowler in 3 of his first 4 NFL seasons. From Wisconsin, it's Russell Wilson.
Coming out of college, he graded out A+ in every category you want in a quarterback except height. And that's what moved him to a 3rd-round pick. And we all found out later that was a mistake. He should have been a first-round guy. Now, in 2015, he showed his ability to actually lead a team to victories by being able to throw the football, not just rely on the running game.
Last year's second leading rookie rusher, this is Thomas Rawls. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down. And this offense often hinges on one of the best tight ends in the league, and that's Jimmy Graham.
I think he made up for lost time when he got to the NFL because in college, he was mainly a basketball player, a defender who couldn't score. Now he's flipped it around in the NFL. Every time he touches the ball, he's a threat to score.
2nd down following the run. They stay on the ground. Rolls again. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards. Back to the 33.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
Got the hand caught up in the grill of the face mask. 15-yard penalty.
So tough for a defender. You're trying so hard to make a play, and the way that these offensive guys can move around, sometimes your hand gets into the wrong place.
Following the penalty, it's Rawls. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. And let's run through the Dolphins' defense.
You can say a lot of things about the great play of Kiko Alonso, but the number one thing you will say, he will hit you.
So they're still at the original line of scrimmage here. 2nd down and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And here's another tackle made at the line. So they're converging. Lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd.
Brad, wasn't that long ago that the guy playing that spot was an outside linebacker type of a guy. Now, as a defensive end, how about the speed that he used to get into the backfield and make the play?
Play action. Now Wilson. He's going to fire one deep left sideline. And I think that one might have been intercepted, but he will be ruled out of bounds. So this will go only as incomplete.
Unnecessary roughness. Defense. First down.
And on the outside, they're playing press coverage.
Check.
Wilson on first down. And to the left side here, Wilson. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. And 15 yards there on the catch and run.
And that catch there by Luke Wilson goes for a first down, and he's really developed and come on. Now, remember, Jimmy Graham, who was expected to be the key tight end for Russell Wilson, he was hurt most of 2015. Luke Wilson really jumped his game up.
First down, this is Rawls. And he stopped immediately there. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Let's just go ahead and go back through that play with his eyes, because he's got to read his keys. Run or pass right off the top. You're probably going to read an offensive lineman to see if he sets up in pass protection, if he fires out for a running play. The next thing is you're going to check and see what the back's going to do, and if he ends up with the football, okay, now you got to check and see. Does an offensive lineman come downfield and try and block you? Are you going to try to elude him? Are you going to take him on and hold your spot? What are you going to do? In this case, didn't have to do any of that. Saw all of his keys, saw the play in front of him, and ran clean to the ball carrier and finished off the play.
Here's Wilson. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Earl Mitchell in there to drop him with his first sack of 2016. So on fourth down, as seen on TV, here's their resident strongman, John Ryan, on to punt. The dangerous Jarvis Landry back for Miami. So one quarter in the books on NFL kickoff weekend. It's a tight game here early. EA Sports NFL Sunday returns following this.
This presentation of the NFL on EA Sports is brought to you by Gatorade, the sports fuel company.
Alongside my broadcast partner Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin hits the Seahawks with a football to begin quarter number 2. They are, however, facing a fourth down situation. Now Landry. That'll go as a punt of 32 yards. And it'll be Dolphin football. Foster alone in the backfield. And he'll get it up the middle. And he'll take this one up close to the 25-yard line. A gain of 3, second down.
We always like to talk about defense in terms of levels. First level defensive line, second level linebackers, third level defensive backs. On that run, that was what we call a first level run, and it was stopped by a second level player.
7 yards to go on second down. Going to give this time to the tailback. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there, and it's going to lead him to third down.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the first. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well.
On third down, that's a good job of situational football and understanding where the first down marker was and getting there.
On first down, it's Tannehill. It's caught. Stills, right side. Call it a gain of 5, and it'll make it second down. Second down to the offense needing 5 yards. 2 minutes remain in a scoreless first half. Back to CenturyLink Field after this. A reminder coming up at this and every halftime this season, we'll be checking in with Larry Ridley in Orlando for highlights and analysis of our first half.
LR, that's my man.
That's your guy. Here's Tannehill now on second down. And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away, and now it's third.
It's a tried-and-true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. From the gun on third down, Tannehill. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
That was a classic example of trying to run with the ball without securing the catch. He was thinking about those rack yards instead of making the catch first and then taking off.
So on now is the Miami punter, Matt Darr, to kick this one away. Back deep for the Seahawks, the All-Pro returner from 2015, Tyler Lockett. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Seahawks will take over at their own 20. The Seattle now ready to march onto the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. And now they're in the hurry-up. On second down, Wilson. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. The intended target, Doug Baldwin. And just like that, it's third down. So a second down incompletion now brings up third down.
Not too many things get to a quarterback of this magnitude, but I think it's safe to say that pressure can get to any quarterback.
Now, he's obviously a great franchise quarterback, but felt the pressure, threw it incomplete. Now it's Wilson, and incomplete here on third down. Tyler Lockett was the target there, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away, but the bottom line is that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
Landry now on the return. So possession goes over here on the punt. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And the Dolphins offense now ready to go back out on the field. And last time out they had to punt the football away. Anything positive possibly to take from that?
There always is when you're punting the football away. It doesn't sound like it because you're giving it up, but you've avoided a mistake.
At least you didn't turn it over.
You didn't turn it over, right? You're giving your defense a chance because you're punting the ball away, and they're set to go on the field as opposed to sudden change after a turnover, and wow, now we got to go out there and stop people. So, yeah, there's always something positive to be gained from it.
Back to the air, Tannehill on second down. Oh, he dropped it. They were looking for him in the middle third. He couldn't catch it. Now third down.
Everything looked right on that play except the conclusion. He dropped it. An en route, going into a little bit of traffic. Maybe in the back of his mind, he was wondering where the hit was going to come from.
It's a 5-receiver set. 3 to the left, 2 to the right. Throwing on third down, Tannehill. He's got time in the pocket. Look at the time. Now he'll let it go deep left side. Incomplete. He had his hands on it but couldn't pick it. But it's now 4th down. Here's Matt Darr now. On for his second punt. He'd take a repeat of his first.
One of the toughest things about playing defensive back is pattern reading, trying to figure out what they're doing. And on that one, they had to fly, just sending a guy downfield with the in route accompanying it, what people call a dagger route, trying to hit the guy underneath after the clear out. In this case, though, they're not able to get it done.
Yeah, they said forget the underneath route. They went for the guy on the fly, but as you said, incomplete. Let's put our attention here now on the Dolphins defense. They have a little something to build off of from last time with a 3-and-out.
And what they have to build off of, great confidence right now. Being able to stuff someone on a 3-and-out, you feel like you're in control now. You're doing the dictating, They want to see if that can continue as this game progresses.
Will it continue? We'll see. Rawls, the lone man in the backfield. Blitz coming, and down he goes. They overload him that time with a safety blitz, and he winds up being dropped for a loss of 7. Looking to speed things up here, going with some tempo. On second down, here's Wilson being chased out left. Now he'll throw, and that's caught inside the 35. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. Tyler Lockett, 76 yards. And the Seahawks have taken the lead.
And that touchdown gives them a touchdown lead before they attempt the extra point. What a great way to end the half.
Yeah, great job to put themselves in front, and now see on the sideline, special teams defense scrambling, saying we want to preserve this for the final moments of this second quarter. Stephen Hauschka for the point after. And this will give the Seahawks a 7-0 lead. Now to send this one away following the score. Here's Jarvis Landry now on the return. So now here come the Dolphins. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
On first down, Tannehill. It's caught. Cameron, left side. 7 yards on the play, and it'll bring up a second down.
I know exactly what's going to be said about that play from the defensive perspective.
What's that?
That's why I tell all you guys we need more than one tackler to the ball. He broke the first tackle. Luckily enough, there were more people there to get him down.
So second down, 3 yards to go now. From the gun, here's Tannehill. Looking middle, and it's incomplete. Devontae Parker was the intended receiver. And that'll bring up a third down.
And the Seahawks add a couple of extra DBs going with the dime look here.
Indeed, 6 on the field. To throw is Tannehill. And he's got him. It's the tight end Cameron. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains. And the offense lining up 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, Tannehill. He's got time. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
And there's a good opportunity to just run a ride there, a drop pass. I guess that's why they call them running backs and not catching backs.
So the incomplete pass brings up second down. Throwing again is Tannehill. Finding time. And that is incomplete. 7 seconds remaining. seconds to go on third. Tannehill throwing again. And there's a flip. And he's going to go down way back at the 42-yard line.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense.
Roughing the pass here, but Charles, that's a good call. But these days, you know quarterbacks, they're very protective.
We know how protected they are, and if it's anything borderline, they're going to get the call. But as a defender, that's hard to swallow sometimes because there's so many of these bang-bang plays.
And that is no good. He hit it well from distance, but he couldn't work it back in. So we've reached halftime here on opening weekend as we send you across the country to Orlando. Standing by there, Larry Ridley with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Larry? Well, my apologies, Larry. I wanted to hear the report. Somebody's in a hurry, so we're going to get them right to quarter number 3. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. And this will be a touchback, so a first chance here in week 1 to see the ball be brought out with the new rule to the 25-yard line. Out comes the Dolphins now. They'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that. And in this case, are they upset that the plays weren't working because of execution, or did they think they were just bad plays to call?
Yeah.
We'll find out pretty quickly here if they feel like they had something going, but they just need to do it a little bit better or not.
We'll find out. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they'll bring him down after just a short pickup. Call it a gain of 4, and it'll leave him with a 3rd down and 6 to go.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
Throwing on 3rd down, Tannehill. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield, complete. And he's got the first down as he's up to the 45-yard line.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be tackled right on the midfield logo. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
And that's exactly what you want on a 1st down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
And after the play on the ground, that brings up 2nd down here. Foster alone in the backfield. And he'll get it up the middle. And this carry not as productive. He's swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
And that's another stop for the defense. Something we've seen all game long. They have been on fire today. No matter what's called by the offense, they've had an answer for it.
Defense sinking pass. They've got the nickel set out on 3rd and 6. Out of the gun, Tannehill. Looking for his running back, and he's got him. And he's going to be out of bounds, but able to take it inside the 40-yard line.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Now it's the Boise State alum, Jay Ajayi. No gain on the play there, second down. He was a second-round pick. Many scouts thought he could have gone higher than that.
And I was one of them. Even though I don't scout for any particular team, I had a first-round grade on him. And frankly, I'm surprised he lasted to the second round. They got a steal with this player.
Really, it's a solid draft class from a year ago. They were able to address some key weak spots on their team and fill in some holes.
And they were able to identify the players they wanted early in the process. Got a little bit of luck, as some guys may have fallen to them. But for the most part, knew their philosophy and stuck to it.
And it's caught by the tight end, Cameron. Give him 7 on the play, and they're going to have a third down.
And he's the epitome of what we call the move tight end. A guy that you can line up anywhere. In the slot, out wide, in tight. Doesn't really matter because he has such great skills. You want to utilize him in all aspects of your passing offense.
And there he was in the slot for the catch. We are through 3 quarters here on NFL Kickoff Weekend. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Seattle, Washington. It's Dolphin football, but they trail here as we get set for the 4th. This will be the 8th play of the drive here. 3rd and 4. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. Tannehill. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. It goes as a gain of 6, and it's a first down. So he makes the grab, and the chains move forward.
Nice job by the offensive line, giving them time to complete that first down pass.
Now a first down throw, Tannehill. Looks for Parker, and it's intercepted. It's the Pro Bowl cornerback, Richard Sherman. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Brandon, offensively, this has been a tough day for him. Trying to find a place to throw the football. It's been extremely difficult. I've got to give a lot of credit to the secondary, especially the corners who've had the receivers on lockdown.
The Seattle now ready to march onto the field. And that recipe on their last drive that resulted in a touchdown looked pretty good, so they'll be hoping to do that once more.
And it takes me back to when we sat with the offensive coordinator and the head coach. They felt pretty good about their game plan and thought there were some holes in the defense, and they exploited them the last time out. Let's see if they can come back and put together a similar drive.
And we'll see if they can do just that. After the interception, here's Wilson. They've got his man complete. A gain of 32 that time. A great job pulling that one in from a guy, as we know, who can really blaze. He's got a lot of speed.
And that speed can work for him so many different ways. Sometimes he just takes off and goes and just runs past people. Sometimes you get people to back off so far that you can catch everything underneath. But still, at some point in the game, you probably have to make some contested catches, right? Sometimes you have to go up and beat a defender for the football. He has that in his arsenal as well.
Showed it right there. The 4th quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
Rawls, the lone man in the backfield. Throwing is Wilson. Rolling to his right. And he's going to be out of bounds, but able to take it inside the 40-yard line. And give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs.
But one thing that's confirmed is that Russell Wilson knows how to elude pressure, and he finds openings to throw the ball, and he does the same thing in running it. He lost about 300 yards from last season in his rushing total, but I think that's a good thing. People respect his running ability so much, it's opening up pass lanes for his team.
To throw is Wilson. He's going to get this one out to his fullback. Time for a break. We'll come back for the electrifying conclusion after this. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. So the offense now dealing with a 2nd and 7. Wilson wants to throw it. It's caught outright by Graham. Now the Dolphins are going to halt the action here. It's a timeout. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. And now following that timeout, the defense back out onto the field. They need to get to the 29 if they want to pick up a first here on 3rd down. Dolphins bring on an extra defensive back on 3rd down. Here's Wilson. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And incomplete. He can't hang on. Would have been a nice catch. Instead, it brings up a 4th down.
When teams take shots at the end zone, you've got to defend it the same way you would defend the first down sticks. You defend the goal line exactly the same way. They can't cross that. You play through the receivers, and on that play, that's exactly what they did and batted it away.
And this is off target to the left. Didn't get there anyway. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. So it's an empty possession, and as a kicker, not the way you want to start your day's work.
And now each team's missed a field goal here so far, Brandon. So apparently, neither guy is immune.
Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. He'll look to throw. Looked like they had something going last drive. Then the interception happened. Will they recover?
The memory they need to keep with them is that they did have something going. They were moving the ball on offense, had a nice sequence going. Don't worry about the other part. You can't get that back. Let's go back to what you were doing well before.
I thought you were going to say they need to have no memory, but remember the good part and forget the bad.
I like that even better.
Well, pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides, where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
And they're going to hurry back to the line now. Back to throw. To the sideline, and oh, a nice catch there. Made sure the feet were inbounds, and they were.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, doing a little toe tap to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
And a great job by our crew on the camera shot. Love when you see the grass or on the field turf, those rubber pellets flying up. Great catch.
After watching him drop that slant, I can hear my old coach's voice ringing in my ears right now. You can't run with the ball until you catch it. Trying to get those rack yards before he secured it.
Defense showing blitz. Back to throw. And over the middle, this is Parker. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. Down 7, and they've got to go for it here on 4th down. He's back to throw. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he picks up the first before he's taken down at the 29. And they're going to speed things up here. They'll look to throw. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
Looked like they had an opportunity for a big play across the middle, but he didn't have the concentration or the focus necessary and dropped it before he could haul it in.
Tannehill. And that is incomplete here. He was trying to get it to Jay Ajayi there out of the backfield. And it'll be 3rd and 10 now. It's been a pretty long drive. This will be play number 9. And they need 10 yards out of it on 3rd. Tannehill now to throw. Hits his target, Hunter. And he takes it down to the 13 and picks up the first. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs. Now it's Tannehill. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. A gain of 4 on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. It'll be their third and final timeout, so as they talk things over, we'll step aside. Tannehill now to throw. And this ball is caught. It's a touchdown. And now in the final seconds, they're a PAT away from likely getting this thing to overtime.
And while it appears the heavy lifting was accomplished by scoring the touchdown, they're still down 1. That extra point is not a gimme.
And now a critical extra point attempt here. And we may very well be headed to overtime. Set to go now with the kickoff. These two teams all even again as we continue in this wild fourth quarter. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And with time a factor here late, he'll just take a knee and they'll put it out to the 25. And out now come the Seahawks. They have a little bit of time here to get into field goal range. Not much. In a tie game, you don't want to do anything crazy, right?
I agree with you on that one. Risk-reward, okay? If you go for it, what is the absolute reward on this? But the risk is probably greater. Run the clock out, get to overtime, and try and win it there.
All right, we'll see if they do just that. Offense looking to avoid a 3rd and long. It's 2nd and 10.
Even in today's NFL, when we think of the tight end position now as really a glorified wide receiver, we're still asking a lot of those guys. They have to block as well, and every now and then, they don't come down with the football.
And the play goes for 19 yards, gives them a new set of downs.
Let's make this one simple. What a catch, especially the finishing part of getting his feet in bounds, toe tapping, and of course, foot dragging.
Little tapestry, if you will.
Oh, I like it.
Now Wilson. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
Today's NFL, these big guys are featured receivers. They move them all over the place to try and find good matchups, and they had one. They were just unable to complete the pass.
Throwing is Wilson. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And incomplete on the deep ball. It's a little teaching moment here. Overtime rules. Remind us how this goes, partner.
Okay, so in the past, we had sudden death. First team to score wins, but no longer. Now, if the team receives the ball, scores a touchdown, they win the game. If they kick a field goal, though, or don't score, the other team gets a possession. And after both teams get a possession, then we're into sudden death. First team to score wins the game.
To return, this is Doug Baldwin. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. The Seahawks offense now, they get ready to come back onto the field. They control their own destiny here. They have the football in overtime. Obviously, a touchdown would win it.
And I think teams around the league are still adjusting to the idea of going downfield, scoring a touchdown wins the game, because they were used to just going downfield and trying to get in field goal range to win a game. Still having to make that transition. Let's face it now, the ones who are doing it best know they need to go down, attack, put the ball in the end zone, and not leave it up to a field goal and give the other team a chance.
Yeah, as we said, they control their own destiny now. On 2nd down, Wilson. It's caught outright by Graham. A big play there on the catch and run, and it'll result in a fresh set of downs.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks, because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target, and he's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
They'll run it here. This is their fullback getting the carry. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
Wilson going to give to Rawls. And he'll work his way inside the 30 now to the 28. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. 2 minutes to go here in overtime. We'll be back after this. See if they stay on the ground for 2nd down. Rawls, the lone man in the backfield. A fake to Rawls. Now it's Wilson. And he finds a man with a crossing route. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. And the offense moving quickly to the line. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. They'll throw on first down with Wilson. Baldwin with it over the middle. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice gain. While we're not playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust football anymore, I kind of get why those old school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football, because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion, and both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering whether it's going to go good or bad for your team.
And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down, so let's see what this is about.
Holding offense.
Ninth play of the drive coming up, and certainly not an easy one on 3rd and long. And they'll add a DB in the secondary here on 3rd and 14. 3rd and long, it's Wilson. Flush to his right. He may try and run for this. And that is incomplete. Jimmy Graham, the intended receiver. And it'll be 4th down.
I wouldn't be shocked at all right now if there's a look of surprise on the big fella's face, because he had the route that he wanted, running the corner, and usually he's able to use his body and catch the football, but a really nice play by the defenders, able to knock it away.
So a big move here, playing to win in overtime. They're going to go for it on 4th down. They're going on 4th down. It's Wilson. And he's got Lockett. And he gets the first down yardage he needs before he's brought down at the 6. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. They'll be down to just 1 remaining as we step aside here in overtime. Well, just play after play after play on this long drive for the offense. On the give, this is their fullback. And he'll keep working toward that end zone as he's down to about the 2-yard line.
A good solid game there on first down, but the defense has to be happy they didn't let it pop for anything bigger.
Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. On the ground, Rawls. And he gets halfway there, down to the 1-yard line. Calling a gain of 2 as they're knocking on the door now. 3rd and goal. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. So that will be their 3rd and final in this overtime session. And as they talk it over, we take a break. We'll be right back. So the offense takes the timeout, and they are back out and ready to rock. They've gotten it to the 1. Can they get that final yard here on 3rd and goal? They come out with 1 back and 3 tight ends. And they'll try and burn. And he's into the end zone for the touchdown and the game winner in OT. So it took us overtime. Finally got a winner. What a treat. What a game.
They gave us everything we were looking for. A terrific game, some extra drama, and then it ended dramatically in a big overtime win.
So for the Seahawks, it was a game that could have gone either way, but they get the touchdown in overtime to secure the Week 1 victory. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Los Angeles Rams. Meanwhile, for the Dolphins, it'll be a loss in the debut of Adam Gase as head coach. And they'll look to get back in the winning column next week as they head to Foxborough to face off against the New England Patriots.